no-fly list. The airlines say they will clearly inform passengers about their policies before flying. There are certain exemptions, including when people are eating or when they're drinking. And with the importance of masks still becoming known and us putting more emphasis on them, there is also a new twist on an old scam, and it involves getting a mask in the mail, a mask that you never ordered.
Yeah, interesting twist there. Our I-Team's Meredith Anderson has been looking into this and joins us now with a warning.
It is a strange one, and at first you might not think anything of it, especially since, because of COVID, we're all pretty much doing everything we can online these days, including ordering things like masks, for example. But lately, some mysterious masks are showing up in mailboxes across our area, like these that showed up in McDuffie County. This one was mailed to the Thompson-Deering area. Here's one a woman got in Gibson. None of these families ordered these, so it struck them as odd. Bridget Zimmerman Googled it and came across a quick blurb in the Boston Globe where a woman in the Boston suburbs called the police when the same thing happened to her. So she reached out to the Glasscock County Sheriff and the post office. She worried it could be a scam and wanted to warn other people who might fall for it.
I'm really petrified for, older people to not know that it's not okay to wear them, especially if it's hard for them to find masks at this time. I would really be devastated if something happened because of a mask.
So, what's going on in your mailbox? The Better Business Bureau thinks they have a pretty good idea. In fact, they've seen this scam before. We'll talk about it coming up new at 6 o'clock on News 12.
Meanwhile, if you get one of those unsolicited packages, throw it out, call the BBB, and don't send anyone any of your personal information. Okay, let's check those latest coronavirus numbers across our area.
They also have 13 coronavirus patients in the hospital.
Some good economic news today. Retail sales soared a record 17.7% from April to May. That's more than double expectations. Americans were spending money last month as businesses partially rebounded from coronavirus. All categories increased, led by car sales and food and beverage gains. Still, businesses are suffering. Purchases are still down more than 6% from a year ago.
And this is pretty depressing. Americans are more unhappy today than they have been in the last 50 years. A recent COVID response study found only 14% of Americans say they are happy. That's down from 31% in 2018. In recent weeks, half of the American population said they often felt isolated. The poll also found the public to be less optimistic about the future of their children and more dissatisfied with relationships and social activities. So I think we all could use a little bit of a hug and a little bit of a break here.
It has been a tough 2020, right? Amazon rolling out new technology to help.
The coronavirus has some people rethinking their life in general, and that does include where they live.
Big picture stuff, right? Laura Podesta shows us a growing trend of people deciding to buy a home in the suburbs just to get away from everybody.
The Bell family loves all the extra space they now have in the suburbs.
When we realized, oh wow, we have to hunker down and really stay further away from people, we realized apartment living was probably not the best way to do that.
It was by video call that Ingrid Bell and her husband agreed to purchase this house in southwestern Connecticut in April, moving from their apartment in New York City to a larger, greener space.
We just had to make the move quickly.
Stephanie and Siobhan Roberts say the pandemic and economic uncertainty sped up a planned move from Brooklyn to New Jersey so they could spend less and have more peace of mind.
A new environment, and it's not so populated.
In a recent Harris poll, 39% of people in urban areas said they were considering leaving for a less populated part of the country.
I am busier than I've ever been in real estate.
Real estate broker Robin KENCEL uses FaceTime to conduct business. She says many clients are able to move quickly because more companies are allowing employees to work from home.
This is really intense for people. It's intense usually, but it's got that added layer of, world anxiety.
The Bells say they'll miss parts of city living.
The energy and the ability to, on a whim, do so many amazing different things.
But they say this was the right move at the right time for their family.
And another trend, vacation rentals are pivoting to longer-term stays. Zillow says there was a nearly 43% jump in long-term rental listings between March and the vacation rentals are pivoting to longer-term stays. Zillow says there was a nearly 43% jump in long-term rental listings between March and the end of May. But, I guess the bottom line for a lot of families, Laura, is quality of life. Where do you want to live your life? In a larger city or more of an open area?
Right. Where do you want to walk around and be able to, breathe?
People re-examining everything right now. Let's have a look outside. I believe our camera is going to show us Walton Way. Mostly clouds this afternoon. Right now, school leaders are working to figure out how kids can go back to school in Richmond County this fall. The school board meeting right now to come up with a firm plan. They're also talking about the budget for next school year. We're going to let you know if any major decisions come out of this meeting that's going on right now.
Private school enrollment expected to dip across South Carolina, some even deciding if they may have to close the doors. They say this is because of coronavirus, and it comes after years of steady growth. The State Independent School Association says money's really tight right now for families because of the pandemic, and if not enough students come back, some private schools may have to stay closed.
We have had several schools that have, communicated to us that they may not be able to open their doors again. Some of these schools are generally some of our smaller schools in rural areas.
Jordan says most of their member schools will remain open. According to officials, there are more than 400 independent schools in the state.
Stricter laws for dangerous animals. That's what Aiken County leaders are working on right now. The county council decided.
Part of the Gerald Jones family.
Bringing smiles to seniors one card at a time. Most of the people living at Madison Heights Nursing Home in Evans have dementia, and not seeing their families during this pandemic has really taken a toll.
But workers there started the card project, asking people from all over the country to send them cards. As Laura Puglisi shows us, the response has been amazing.
Well, during the pandemic, this is about just as far as residents here can go. Every morning, they walk up here with staff, open up the mailbox, and take a look at the cards from around the country.
Thinking of you in Colorado.
From the east to the west,
Virginia Beach, Virginia.
the north to the south,
Yes.
Greetings to you from Arizona.
every card is a treat for people living at Madison Heights Evans.
Golly, it's nice.
You're not alone when you open it. You know somebody else is out there.
For Mary and Daniel, it's been tough without their weekly trips and visits from family and friends.
I just been watching Animal Planet.
It's been even tougher for family members on the outside. Most residents here are suffering from memory loss and have a hard time remembering why they can't leave or see family.
We wanted everybody to feel loved and feel appreciated, especially right now when they're not seeing visitors as much. We wanted to make sure that they're still feeling appreciated and cared for. So we thought, well, let's ask for people to send us mail and see how that goes.
So they took to Facebook and got a map, and the rest is history.
Because it lifts your spirit. Cats, that's right. Totally radical. Cat on a skateboard.
A simple message of hope, bringing so much joy, a reminder that we're separated, but not alone.
We would love to get to all 50 states. Even if we can get beyond that, if we can get some from other countries, that would be really exciting. But we just really want to make sure that the residents continue feeling the love, knowing that they're special and that they're cared for. And the more people that can get that message to our residents, the better.
So far, they've received cards from 18 states, so they still have a little ways to go, but that's where all of you come in. If you want to send a card, we'll post the address on our website at WRDW.com. In Evans, Laura Puglisi, on your side.
Oh, I think our viewers will be able to help with that big time. If you have family members from out of state and they can send a postcard, I know that would mean so much to those seniors.
Such a simple idea, but it does, like you said, it means a lot. To weather now, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist